Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting Beyond All Reason game replay. I'm Turdbucket. I'm going to be taking you through this game I played with some randoms on the internet. This was on All That Glitters, one of the most popular maps in Beyond All Reason. And it is a game where I played air. So definitely a little bit of a change of pace for me. I'm usually playing eco. I've been working on my frontline game more. Not great at it whatsoever, but that's the point. You got to work on it to get better, right? We got to crawl before we can walk. So I'm going to take you through my air play here. I'm not saying this is the ultimate air guide or anything like that, but it was a game where it went pretty well for me, and I was able to make some things happen. So let's go through it. I have my typical 3 mechs, 2 solar start. With some windmills after making my lab. So start with the mexes, build the solars, build my lab, and then build these 4 windmills here. I've got in my lab, I'm going to queue up a Finch, which is a scout plane. You got a similar plane for the Armada side. I don't play Armada planes anymore. I used to, but the Shuriken is just too strong of an early game unit to get away from. So I have gotten away from that pretty much completely at this point. But the advantages of using the arm planes is that they do have better early game fighters. So their T1 fighters are better than the core counterparts, but the core T2 fighters are better than the ARM T2 fighters, so kind of balances out there a little bit. I am building some fighters, a couple of fighters, and then I'm going to go into a bomber, and then more fighters and shurikens back to back. So we're going to kind of go around and make sure we got our front line covered with those fighters. I do help Purple Patty by making this front line mech. I noticed that he gave me the con that was going to go make that, so I felt bad, and I went ahead and made that mech for him and shared it to him. And then I'm going to bring him around to come build this mech for me. Got my con making some more windmills. Core windmills technically aren't as good as ARM. They did increase the cost of the ARM windmills a little bit, so they're a little more comparable now. A lot of people say not to do that, but I don't care. I needed energy. I'm going to make them. So popping down those windmills, and then going to have my bomber come out for a quick early bombing run here. And let's turn off that player cam and zoom out. So this is what I can see right now. So I'm going to come down through Canyon. I do see those planes flying about, and I'm going to try to bomb some windmills. I don't really hit anything there. It was pretty lame, but I realized that I have an opportunity to hit air, which is fantastic. You want to be able to hit air early. Don't hit anything there. I do drop some bombs on eco, and then I realized the prize, the jewel, the energy converters, the easy explosion. And coming back around for another bombing run on those windmills, and my bomber does die, and that bomber crashing into those windmills wipes out his energy economy. So now Jack Cheese, if we check in on his economy, yikes. No energy to speak of, and his metal is stalling because he's running out of that energy. So he's got to quickly build that back up, or he is going to be in trouble. Meanwhile, I'm in a similar situation because I decided I wasn't going to build my windmills quick enough here. Instead, I went into con turrets. So I decided to drop an advanced solar. I've been dabbling with the advanced solars a little bit more. I do like a few of them. If I'm going to be playing in a front line or a corner or even in the air spot, they just provide such stable energy production that is difficult to get with the windmills sometimes. Even on maps with decent wind, like All That Glitters. On maps like Supremes, I usually don't because the wind is good enough there. But on Glitters, Smolders, some of the other maps, the wind is, kind of that mid-range, and you're better off having something a little more stable, in my opinion. I know it's not a popular opinion, I'm sure, but that's how I feel about it, and I have been dropping a few of those advanced solars. Now, making an entire solar farm of like 5, 10, 15 of them, don't recommend. That's a major resource dump. You don't want to do that. But I think making 2 to 3 of them is a viable way to get your energy where it needs to be. So, you can see that I am still struggling on energy. But we are cranking out units. We are cranking out our metal. And I'm using my transport here to transport my T2 con around the map here. I am playing this at a little bit higher speed, so you guys can maybe see it at a slower speed here. But basically, I'm just trying to get all these started and get my different constructors working on it, using my comm, using this T1 con, and then dropping him in here in the middle where where my T2 con can then hit all 3 of these mexes from one spot. Doesn't have to move around as much. So, okay. I am woefully behind on fighters. At this point in the game, I only have... Let's see here. I have 8 whole fighters at 11 minutes. That is terrible. Now, why am I doing this, right? Why am I doing this? I bombed Jack Cheese early on, okay? So he had to rebuild his eco. It set him back. Knowing that, and knowing that he, well, we'll just say it, he's not as high OS, right? That lets me know that he's probably not going to recover as well, and there's a very, very low chance that he's going to come in and bomb. So, and I also know that he's armed, so there's not going to be any shurikens that I have to attack with my fighters. So I can definitely be greedier in this situation. It's not something that you should do all the time, but it's certainly something that I was able to do because I knew these things about my opponent in the air spot. That's the cool thing about air. It's really a 1v1, right? Unless eco or I've seen it sometimes. It's crazy and silly, but one of the corner players goes air. Unless there's double air, it's a 1v1 game. You are matched up toe for toe, eye to eye, man to man with your opponent. There is nobody else to fall back on. Maybe your team can build some flak and some AA, but other than that, it's you versus the other guy. There is nothing else in between. But we do have the fusion coming up here. I am running out of metal, so I start sucking up these solars. I got plenty of energy rolling in. My team has plenty of energy. The wind is rocking right now, so I'm going to suck up these solars, suck up that metal storage because it is not doing anything for me now. And I'm going to then dump that into this fusion. That fusion is going to stabilize my energy. I'll be able to make 1 energy converter, which will help me to get my unit production back up very quickly. See, now I will make that energy converter, drop my lab again, and then crank out some fighters. In the meantime, I'm going to drop that APHIS, and I'm going to continue to build fighters in the meantime. Now, I don't have a lot of build power, which is why I'm able to balance all this. That APHIS is going to take a little while to make, so I am going to drop some more build power to try to pump that back up. But in the meantime, I'm still able to crank fighters out at a very fast pace. And you can see I'm able to get 36 fighters out in a matter of a couple minutes. My opponent still has no bombers. I don't know that, but after 5 minutes of sitting around with 8 fighters in the air, I knew I had to get some more fighters up before I went too much harder into my eco. So my energy does start to wane a little bit, so I have my con turrets help build out some more windmills. The wind is fantastic right now. I'm trying to take advantage of that as quickly as I can by having these con turrets guard this constructor. It's always a great idea, if you're able to do it, to have a bunch of build power guarding one unit so that they can build things much faster, especially when the resources are as good as they are right now. And then I suck up this lab, dump it into the APHIS, and with all these windmills, I can now suck up my regular fusion reactor. I start to get pretty tight on my metal there, to a point where I was going to overflow, so I pivoted and then went back to that APHIS, and now I'm going to drop 6 of these energy converters. The reason why I do 6 is because if your teammates are overflowing energy, which happens a lot, to be honest, that extra energy is going to get shared with you, and that extra energy can then go into your extra energy converters, which can produce metal for you off of your teammates' metal. So I make my T1 lab one more time. I did mess up and forget to build my T1 aircon so I could build a T2 lab, but I do get that done. I do get that lab down, and then we have the canyon. The canyon gets attacked, and we have some tiger tanks in there, and they are destroying Norcia and Willie. So I bring in my wasps from my Tech 2 lab to go kill those tanks and push them back. Willie has unfortunately gone air. I just got done talking about that unfortunate play of air in the corner. I don't know why people do it. It's not a great idea, but he's done it, and okay. More power to you. I bring my wasps over to protect the canyon, and then I continue to crank them out, as I don't know when the next attack is coming and what kind of units we'll see. We are 23 minutes into the game. There could easily be T3. We can see that Purple Patty has T3, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Alright, so those tiger tanks are coming in once again. My wasps are coming in and attacking them, doing a great job of stopping them. Although, as they are on their way, they are blowing up most of Norcia's base and economy here, unfortunately. Purple Patty sends a Razorback in there, which is fantastic. That'll definitely help us. And then I decide to go on a raid with my wasps. So I bring in all my fighters, which are all Tech 2, or mostly Tech 2, I should say at this point. And I come in and make sure that their eco is dead. After that, I come over and I make sure their air is dead. Jack Cheese blows up in his base, and that is pretty much all she wrote for the center backline here. I do get a nice explosion on X-Ray as well, and that pretty much sets them back for the rest of the game. Purple Patty is able to get his Tech 3 out. I have to crank out some more wasps to stop the further attack of Logano Stefano in the canyon here. And we also have some shared units to Iridium, who is trying to protect the canyon as well. Unfortunately, Willie is still building planes. He's also got a Tech 2 lab up and a Tech 1 lab. He doesn't have the economy for that, but he's trying his heart out, and that's all that matters. He's making units. If he had all this and he was making constructors, I would be beside myself. But you know what? The guy is making units, and that's all that matters in this very moment. He's got his planes and his tanks up on the front line trying to save his little canyon here, so I'll give him credit for that. That's fantastic. And I'm not trying to throw shade on him at all. Just don't go air in the corner, please. Let the air guy go air. At any rate, I do send in another little wasp attack, but they are ready for me with some flak here. Kind of stalls out on the air side, honestly, because they do recognize the amount of air that I did have. But at this point, Red Crow is cranking. Red Crow has some shared T3 from Purple Patty, He's printing fiends from his lab here, you can see. I mean, these bad boys, I know I have it at a higher speed. Let's go down to 1 time speed. Let's see this. Look at this. Printing these. You can't buy a printer that prints this fast, okay? He is cranking these bad boys out, and he is setting a steady stream. I love it. This is fantastic. This is units on the field. This is the guts to attack, and Red Crow is single-handedly punching his hole through their front line. He's punching his ticket to victory. I love it. It's fantastic. Metallica is bringing in his units as well. Now Willie, he's getting a little frisky. He's going to bring his planes up, but there's a lot of flak. You can tell flak by the symbols when you zoom out here. That's the symbol of a flak truck there. So you can see the Logano definitely knows that we've got planes, and he is coming prepared to fight. Logano goes into the canyon once again. It's been working for him, so why not, right? He does have a lot to get through, so tanks have a really hard time getting through wreckage, and let me tell you, the canyon is a graveyard at this point. So you can see he's having a really hard time. His Tech 2 tanks can get over most of the rubble here, but definitely getting slowed down by it, and these choke points are not helping. So he is losing a lot of units in these little choke point zones, but he still does punch another hole through us. I switched into some ticks because, heck, why not? My economy's ripping and roaring now. And send those ticks to surround the tigers and confuse them. Iridium sending in some hounds. He's sending them directly at the tigers. Not the best play here. Hounds are a long-range unit, and they actually do quite a bit of damage to tanks. So it'd be much better off letting my spam come in at the tanks and give him vision, and then putting those hounds back here where the tiger tanks can't hit them, but they can hit the tiger tanks. So just something to consider if you got a long-range unit. Don't send them directly at another unit like that. Get them some vision, get them some line of sight, get some radar going, and start hitting them from far. That's much more effective way of doing things. Okay, they do call the resign vote here. I was able to, I think, nuke this back player here, and I got another nuke cooking. And this game is all but over at this point. I don't even know if I get this nuke off, to be honest with you. I have really no need for air. There's the resign. Nuke doesn't get shot, and this is my air. Turdbucket goes air. Definitely was helped by that early bombing run. Definitely was helped by the lack of aggression on my opponent's part, and the fact that he went air. I didn't have to waste fighters on shurikens. I honestly greeded very hard on that in that game, more than I normally do. My normal play is just build out fighters, tons of fighters, and then wait to do my economy to like the 12 or 15 minute mark, just because I'm so paranoid of those bombing runs and being the reason why we lose. But being able to get that bomber in and bomb air and take out most of his resources early gave me the confidence and the knowledge that he went armed to know that I was able to greed a little bit more than I normally would. So that's the name of the game: vision, focus, and then the guts to go in and attack. And if you can do all that, you're going to be pretty successful. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Drop a turd in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.